Yes, what's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel. It's starting 11 prediction time for tomorrow's trip to Tannadice to face Dundee United. Dundee United are the only side that we haven't faced domestically so far this season. I also find it astonishing that Brendan Rodgers has never coached against Dundee United, never been at Tannadice as Celtic manager. That was a strange one when I first heard that yesterday, but really looking forward to the game. Tannadice is one of my favourite grounds in the country to go to the game before Christmas as well. So lots to look forward to. And let's hope we can get another 3 points. Dundee United have had 2 wins in their last 5 matches. They did lose 4-3 at Fir Park last weekend. In that run, they've had 2 draws. One of them was at Ibrox, and that won each draw towards the end of November. They've got some big players. Dalby up front's been a threat for them. They like to get the ball wide and get it in the box, so we're going to have to guard against that. But the most important thing for us in this game is just making sure that the speed of play is where it should be, because we can't let last week, whether it's mental or physical fatigue, set in. It shouldn't be physical fatigue because it's a full week we've had, and the guys have had a couple of days off. It's just mentally, maybe after the high of winning a trophy, we've got to guard against that. We've got to make sure we play with a proper tempo, a proper intensity, and get that speed in our game, because that's the thing that we missed last week and maybe even the last couple of games, that really hurt us in terms of trying to get through teams and break them down. We've just got a bit slow on the ball again. We've got to speed that up. We've got to play with real intensity tomorrow. And as I say, the main thing is getting the 3 points and getting down the road before Christmas. Let's have a look then at the Celtic team, or what I think the Celtic team might look like tomorrow. As always, we're trying to predict Brendan Rodgers starting 11. I've got it right 8 times so far this season. And we'll start in goals as we always do. That's the easiest position to pick. It's going to be Kasper Schmeichel. I saw him on Ben Foster's podcast again this week talking about how much he's enjoying life at Celtic. It's great to hear that. It was actually filmed before the cup final, that podcast. But great to hear that he's really relishing being part of this winning culture and having to deal with that pressure every week. He says it's something that he's never really had in his career. And I know he's played in the Premier League and he's actually won the Premier League, but he was part of a team that wasn't expected in any way, shape or form to win the Premier League. So having that pressure week in and week out where you have to be perfect is something that he's really enjoying. He's been brilliant. At right back, I'm going with Anthony Ralston. I think Alistair Johnson is going to miss out. I think you could tell last weekend in the cup final that Johnson was miles away from his top level, clearly nursing that injury that he picked up in Zagreb. Brendan Rodgers saying yesterday that if he doesn't make this weekend, he'll be back for the following game. I just don't see us risking it at all. I think he's been a really, really important player for us, and if he's carrying any knock at all, there's no need to risk him in this game. Ralston needs to come in and perform, and to his credit, Ralston, I know he had a couple of wayward crosses, as we always get from him, but I think his determination and his will and his work rate when he came on was really, really good in the cup final. Back four, I'm going, back two, centre halves, I'm going Carter Vickers and Trusty, who I think will just come back in over Scales, and I'm going Valle at left back. Now, obviously, Scales came in and helped us. The manager said it was a tactical change, I think, being in the stands at the time. A couple of people around about me weren't sure if it was tactical or maybe something wrong with Trusty, but I think Scales did help us. He obviously has the big controversial moment where he gives the ball away in the edge of the box, and it's the only thing that's been talked about from the game all weekend, but that was maybe one of the times where he wasn't so clean on the ball. So I think Trusty will come back in. I fully expect that. In midfield, there's lots of options for the manager again. I might get this wrong. I'm going McGregor in the deeper position, and I'm going to stick with Hatate and Bernardo. It wouldn't surprise you. Maybe I was going to put Luke McCowan in for a start, but I just think, given that free week that the team have had, a couple of days off, I think everybody's going to be fresh, so the manager's going to go strong. I think the changes in terms of seeing some of the players who are most often start on the bench coming into the lineup is going to be on Boxing Day against Motherwell, maybe the home game against St Johnstone 3 days later. I think there will be changes over this next 7 or 8 days, whatever it is. But tomorrow, I'm just going with those three in the middle. I think Engels coming on last weekend, obviously pivotal role in the third goal, did really, really well. Great awareness to pick out Kuhn in the centre of the 18-yard box. But aside for that, he did really struggle. Put his penalty away brilliantly, don't get me wrong. But I think in open play in the game, he had a couple of nervy moments on the ball. I thought he should have been much stronger against Diamande for the second Rangers goal as well. So I don't see him coming back in and displacing Hatate or Bernardo just yet. We know we've got McCowan there, and I fully expect that we'll see Luke take some part in the game, maybe even a big chunk in the second half, to be honest. In front three, I'm not going any changes there either. Kuhn on the right hand side, Maeda on the left, and Kyogo through the middle. I know that there'll be a lot of shouts for Ida to start, and I think Ida did have a much better impact in the game last weekend than Kyogo. He really helped us get up the pitch. He carried it well. He held it up. Kyogo's 1 or 2 half chances in the game. The flash shot right at Butland in the first half, and then he has the chance at the front post where Butland makes a really good save just before we get the equaliser. But again, we're really struggling to get him involved in the game when we play like that. You think back to last season, that slow play characterised much of the campaign for us, and for much of the campaign we thought, where is Kyogo? Why is he not getting involved? Why is he not getting touches? When we play like that, we just can't get him involved in the game at all. So we're going to have to be much better tomorrow. I think one of the last times we were at Tannadice was the 9-0 game, and he managed to nab a hat-trick that day. So let's hope he can find form like that tomorrow. Forrest's obviously going to be out for 6 weeks with an injury now, after the cup final, going off in a protective boot, I think, leaving the stadium. So I think Kuhn will have to start. Maeda on the left. I don't see any chance for Yang or Palmer coming in. I think those would be 2 big changes to make coming into this game. I think an away game at Tannadice, Dundee United sitting 5th in the table, done well this season. We don't want to underestimate it. We want to get the 3 points, come back down the road for the 2 home games before the trip to Ibrox, and that might be where the manager sees fit to make 1 or 2 more changes. So there you go. That's a lineup I think Brendan Rodgers will go with tomorrow. If you disagree, let me know in the comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you outside Tannadice with all the full-time reaction after the game tomorrow. Thank you.